Good morning, guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is my entire Chanel fragrance collection. So this is one I've been waiting to do for such a long time. I love Chanel fragrances so much, and this will be a bit of a longer video because I have quite a few of them and I have a little bit to say about each of them. So hopefully you don't mind long perfume videos. I love long perfume videos. So if you enjoy it, please make sure to like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Okay, guys, so today is my long-awaited Chanel collection video. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk to you about these fragrances. They're some of my favorite. I do have to say that Chanel is probably one of my favorite perfume houses out there, which I know is really cliche and not original, but I don't care. I love Chanel. I think that they can do no wrong and they make incredible fragrances. By the way, guys, I have had a lot of people ask where I get my perfume trays and my home decor and my wall art and stuff like that, and I've actually created a Amazon storefront. So if you guys are interested in any of the things you see in any of my videos, I try to have every single thing linked in my Amazon storefront. So for those of you asking where I got my perfume trays, I've tried to find very similar, if not the exact same trays, and they are all in my Amazon storefront. So definitely check that out in the description box. Okay, so number one, we have Chanel Chance Eau de Parfum. This is just the original Eau de Parfum. I have tried the Chance Eau Tendre. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the Eau Tendre. I think that one is too light and sweet and fruity. It's not my favorite thing. I definitely prefer something with a little bit more depth, and I really, really love this fragrance, you guys. This is a musky, powdery, patchouli, woody fragrance. So this is a very fresh, woody, kind of a daytime scent. This scent is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's also very sexy. This is the type of fragrance that you could just throw on for any day of the week, anytime, anywhere. Makes a great signature scent. I love it. If you guys have ever smelt Bleu de Chanel for men, this to me is kind of like the female equivalent of the Bleu de Chanel, which I also find to be a very sexy and absolutely gorgeous fragrance. So I'm just going to smell this again to refresh my memory. You guys, I love this fragrance so much. I'll tell you what some of the notes are here. In the top, you have pink pepper. In the middle, you have jasmine and iris. And in the base, you have patchouli, vanilla, and musk. Really not that complex, and yet it's one of the best fragrance DNAs I think has ever been created. I love it, love it, love it. I know it's very popular. I know a lot of people wear this, and it's kind of cliche, but this is one of my hands down absolute favorite Chanel fragrances. It's just so sophisticated, so chic, and yeah, gorgeous. I cannot wait to wear more of these fragrances. Once this whole isolation thing is over, I'm going to wear the heck out of my Chanel fragrances. So that is the first one. This is Chanel Chance Eau de Parfum. The second one in my collection is Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette. So again, it's just the original Chanel Chance, but this is the Eau de Toilette version. This is not just a lighter version of the Eau de Parfum. They actually have completely changed some of the notes in here as well. So it's also a different fragrance altogether. And I couldn't decide between the two because they're both incredible. And so I had to get both. Of course, the Eau de Toilette doesn't last quite as long, but it still has really good lasting power. So this one is a woody patchouli floral, but this one also has quite a few citrus notes in it, and it's got a lot more fruity notes. So this one would be more for a younger person, maybe for somebody who wanted something lighter to wear during the daytime, during the summer. This one would be the type of one I would keep in my handbag and just spritz on myself throughout the day as I was going about my business. It smells incredible. It very much smells like the original Chanel Eau de Parfum, but a lot fruitier and lighter and more citrusy. So the notes in here are pineapple, iris, patchouli, pink pepper, and hyacinth in the top. In the middle, you have jasmine, lemon, and rose. And in the base, you have musk, patchouli, vanilla, and vetiver. So this is still a very patchouli heavy fragrance. Yeah, so they've added some iris, which makes it a little bit more powdery. The pineapple gives it a little bit of a fruitiness, so it's definitely a lot lighter, a lot more girly, more feminine, more fun, more playful, but it still has that original Eau de Parfum DNA, and I love it. You guys, if I wear this one and the Eau de Parfum side by side, I cannot choose between the two. I love them both. I don't think I could have just one. Yeah, they're both gorgeous, just for different occasions. I think I would wear the Eau de Parfum more for every day, maybe the office. Not that I work in an office, but if I did, I would wear Chanel Chance Eau de Parfum. And this one I would wear more for like the higher heat of the daytime, going shopping, hanging out with a friend, hanging out with my significant other. yeah, but they're both great. You could wear them both and they're both fantastic. This would also be the one I would recommend if you're just getting started in your Chanel fragrance journey and you're not sure what to pick. I think this one is kind of the best of both worlds. It has that class and that timelessness and that elegance that comes with Chanel, but it also has sort of a lighter, more citrusy, playful, fruitier kind of a vibe to it as well. So this one suits a lot more age demographics. Definitely, I think the younger crowd would get away with this one. Yeah, so this is Chanel Chance Eau de Toilette, another one of my favorites. Okay, now we will talk about one of the most beautiful Chanel bottles in my opinion. I absolutely love it. I love the colors, I love the style. At first I thought I preferred the original with the simple black and white label, but this bottle, you guys, oh, it's so beautiful. So this is Chanel Allure Eau de Parfum. I have a lot of people recommending that I smell the Sensual one, or the Sensual, however you want to pronounce it. And I have not tried that one, unfortunately. It's one that I really would like to get my hands on at some point, but I love this one. You guys, this perfume is so classy. This is one of the ones I featured in my classy fragrances video. Anybody who knows anything about perfume will immediately recognize if you wear this, they're going to know you're wearing Chanel, they're going to think you smell expensive, they're going to know that you're wearing something high-end and classy. This is not the type of fragrance I could wear for just any day, any time, running errands. Even if I was dressed nicely, I still think that this fragrance is kind of special. I would save it for either going to a very nice place or for a special occasion. So this is a floral citrus vanilla. This is Chanel's take on a sweeter, more vanilla fragrance. I think this is one of the most vanilla that they have in their entire house, if I'm not wrong. So in the opening, you have bergamot, mandarin, peach, cedar, and vanilla. In the middle, you have rose, jasmine, peony, orange blossom, and magnolia. And in the base, you have lotus and vetiver. I love this fragrance so much. This would be on one of my top must-haves for Chanel, 100%. This is a little bit more mature. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much in my early 20s. I think it's definitely for like later 20s into your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Very classy, 100% has that Chanel vibe about it. Smells expensive, beautiful, sweet, a little bit on the sexy side. Yeah, it's just gorgeous. So if you're looking for something for a date or something a little bit more daytime sophisticated, that's what I would use this one for. It is stunning. It smells so good, you guys. Yeah, one of the best. This is Allure Eau de Parfum from Chanel. Okay, now let's talk about one of the more popular Chanel fragrances. This is Coco Mademoiselle. Very popular among a lot of younger ladies these days. First of all, the bottle is gorgeous. This is one of my favorite Chanel bottles. This one has a frosted cap on it. So the cap is still glass, but it's frosted and it's just beautiful. I love the pink, I love the gold, I love the label, I love the color of the juice, I love everything about this. So this one is kind of a gateway fragrance into the Chanel house, because this one is a mass-pleasing, very much liked among the younger population, very popular, and a lot of people I think start out with this one and then branch into the rest of the Chanel house. They either start off with one of the Chances or with Coco Mademoiselle. So this one is a citrus, woody, sweet, and again, patchouli. So in the opening you have orange, mandarin, bergamot, and orange blossom. So that orange blossom definitely gives it a little bit of sweetness. It's very citrusy, it's very fresh, especially when you first spray it. In the middle, you have ylang ylang, mimosa, rose, and jasmine. So that's where you get your floral notes from, and the ylang ylang, which Chanel loves to throw in their fragrances. And then the base is a little bit sweeter and more earthy and woodier. So that's where you get your tonka bean, your patchouli, your vanilla, your vetiver, your musk, and your opopanax. Opopanax is a sweet, warm, kind of a spicy resin, so it adds a bit of a spiciness to the fragrance. This one I describe as being a fresh, clean, sophisticated, citrusy, woody fragrance. It's just perfect for everyday wear. You could wear this to the office, you could wear this out on a date, you could wear it just throughout the day running errands. To me, it's kind of one of the more casual fragrances out of the Chanel line. So not quite as casual as the Chance Eau de Toilette, but definitely more casual than the Allure. This is just a beautiful go-to, clean, everyday fragrance. There's something sexy about it. Even though it's a clean, fresh fragrance, there's something very sexy about this. There's something very sophisticated about it. And I think that's why people like it, because it works for so many different occasions, and yet it gives you this Chanel vibe as well. For me, this is not one of my favorite out of the collection. It wouldn't be my favorite, but it is, I think, at the same time, a must-have. I've had a few people ask me if I find this generic. I don't find it generic in terms of the fragrance. I think the fragrance is one of the most well done, recognizable fragrances there is, but it's a little generic in the sense of how many people wear it. But yeah, it's gorgeous. I love it. It's beautiful. You can't go wrong. Again, very good for a signature scent kind of a fragrance. So that is Coco Mademoiselle Eau de Parfum from Chanel. Let's take a little break and sniff some coffee beans here. Okay, now let's talk about an evening fragrance. So this is Coco Noir. I love this fragrance, you guys. This one is a lot newer to my collection. I haven't even had a chance to wear it out or try it out for a date or anything like that. First of all, the bottle is stunning. It looks so beautiful sitting on a vanity. So this one to me is kind of like if they took Coco Mademoiselle and they turned it into a evening fragrance and made it spicier and warmer and added some sweetness. That's what this would be. This is like a very heavier, much more nighttime appropriate, spicier, sweeter version of Coco Mademoiselle. So this one I think is also a little bit mature as well. This is definitely not one I would have picked when I was like 25 years old. At that point, I think I was still definitely going for the Victor & Rolf Flower Bombs of the world and the Olivier Belles and the Juicy Coutures and those kind of things. I don't know, it depends on the type of person. If you're a very mature 20s, then I think you could get away with this for sure. But beautiful for every age group, I think. So this one is a balsamic, woody, spicy citrus fragrance. This one has lemon, bergamot, and orange in the opening. In the middle, it has jasmine, rose, peach, geranium, and narcissus, which is kind of an animalic green note. And then in the base, you have musk, tonka bean, vanilla, patchouli, benzoin, cloves, and olibanum, which is also a resin that has kind of a spicy, fruity sense to it. So this is a very complex fragrance. There's a lot going on. It's kind of difficult to tell what's in here when you first smell it. It has a very citrusy opening, and then you can tell that there's some floral notes in here, and then you can tell there's definitely vanilla and tonka bean. There's something very sweet in it, but there's also a lot of spiciness going on in it as well. Very long lasting, excellent performance. It's not like your run-of-the-mill evening fragrance. I'm just gonna smell it here. I have it on a perfume strip just so I can refresh my nose. You guys, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. It really is like they took Coco Mademoiselle and turned it into a spicy tonka bean vanilla evening fragrance. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's perfectly blended. It's not like overly sweet. You know how there's those evening scents that once they dry down, they're just super sweet. This is not sweet and generic in the dry down. It still is very earthy, very woody, very complex, very, very sexy fragrance, you guys. I love this. I love it. I love it. It definitely takes some getting used to. It's kind of an acquired taste if you are used to smelling a lot of really, really sweet, gourmand, fruity evening scents, but it's beautiful. And I think it's a must-have. This is definitely one of the must-haves in the collection. So again, gorgeous for your vanity. And this is the one I would wear for a special occasion, sexy evening out. I wouldn't wear this to the club. I wouldn't wear this, not that I club anyway, but I wouldn't wear this to the club. I wouldn't wear this just for any old dinner out. I think this would be more of a special occasion evening fragrance. Okay, this is Chanel No. 5 Low. So this is one of the flankers of the original Chanel No. 5. This one is fairly new. This one is what some people also refer to as kind of a gateway fragrance into the Chanel No. 5. The Chanel No. 5 Low is a more modern, youthful, lighter, fresher, citrusy daytime take on the original No. 5. This still does have the No. 5 DNA. Anybody who knows Chanel would immediately pick up that this has No. 5 vibes, but they've also made this a lot lighter and a lot fresher, and they've added a lot of citrus notes. This is also an Eau de Toilette. I don't think you can get the No. 5 Low in an Eau de Parfum, otherwise I would have because it's beautiful. And my only beef with this one is it doesn't last a really, really long time. Probably, I would say 3-4 hours where I get pretty good performance, and then I would want to reapply this. So the No. 5 Low still has those aldehydes in it, which is what the original Chanel No. 5 was famous for. Aldehydes are a very kind of a sharp, fresh, crisp, airy note. If you've smelt them before, you know what I'm talking about. and it is what gives Chanel No. 5 its signature scent. Yeah, so I really like this fragrance, you guys. This is perfect for the summertime. It's perfect for a hot day. I also like to wear this to bed, and it smells very, very classy. So if you are a younger person or just somebody in general who's new to the Chanel No. 5 world and you really want to like it, but it's just not your thing, it's too strong for you, it's too heavy, this one is incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. It's very clean, very fresh, a little bit soapy, beautiful. And I have nothing else like it in my collection. So the top notes in this are lemon, orange, mandarin, aldehydes, lime, bergamot, and neroli. So just a tiny bit of flower and then a whole bunch of citrus. In the middle, you have rose, jasmine, and ylang ylang, which is also in the original No. 5. And then in the base, you have cedar, musk, vanilla, and orris. You can definitely pick up on the musk and definitely the cedar. The floral notes are kind of like in the background. I would say from this, you mostly get those citruses, a little bit of woodiness, and those aldehydes. That's primarily what this is. So this is No. 5, but fresher, more modern, more youthful, easier to wear, beautiful, doesn't last as long, but good for the office and good for bedtime. So that is my take on the Chanel No. 5 Low. Also, the bottle is also very pretty, of course. Next, we have Chanel No. 5 Eau Première. This is another modern twist on the Chanel No. 5. This one smells a lot more like the original Chanel No. 5 than the Low does. This one isn't as citrusy, and this one they've added quite a bit of powderiness and quite a bit of vanilla, and they've kind of dulled down the aldehydes from the original No. 5. So this one isn't as sharp and as dated and as vintage smelling and as grandma vibes as a lot of people think the Chanel No. 5 is. This one is a lot more modern. This one came out in 2015. Nicole Kidman was the face of this fragrance, and this one, as the name suggests, Eau Première or Eau Première, this is a re-envisionment of the original Chanel No. 5. So the goal with this one was to make it more wearable and more mainstream again, and hopefully get people liking the No. 5 line again. So this one, you guys, is absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. I think you can wear this even if you're a bit younger. Like, I'm 34 years old and I would wear this any day of the week. I love it. It's beautiful. That being said, I also don't mind the Chanel No. 5. So this one is a woody, aldehydic, and fresh fragrance is how they describe it. And in the top you have neroli and aldehydes and ylang ylang. In the middle you have rose and jasmine, and in the base you have vetiver, sandalwood, and vanilla. So the sandalwood makes it a little bit creamy, the vanilla gives it a little bit of a sweetness, very, very slight touch of like a gourmandy vanilla vibe in the dry down. And then you still have those fresh aldehydes in the beginning. So when you spray this, it does bear a very striking resemblance, like I said, to the original No. 5. This one, however, is a lot more soft and more wearable and more modern, and it does have a little bit of that vanilla in the base, which makes it kind of sensual. I really like this fragrance. I think this one would be a huge compliment getter. I haven't worn it yet, but I think people would really recognize that you were wearing Chanel No. 5, but I don't think they would think you smelled dated or old or whatever. I'm just gonna give this another smell again because it's gorgeous. Oh, you guys, I love this fragrance so much. It is so beautiful. Yeah, this is gorgeous. If you really want to try wearing something a little bit more classic smelling, a little bit more classic vintage Chanel, this is a really good one to kind of get you started in that direction. It's gorgeous. I know a lot of people have commented on some of the pictures I've posted, and they agree they really like this one. It's like the best of both worlds. It's modern, but it's still Chanel No. 5. Highly recommend it. That's all I have to say about it, because I could talk about it for a really long time. It's honestly one of my favorite from the whole House of Chanel, I think. Chanel No. 5 Eau Première. And to finish things up, I have the OG Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum. Chanel No. 5 has been reformulated multiple times over the years. It originally came out in the 1920s, and at that point in time, it was a much different fragrance than what we have today. Our most recent formulation of Chanel No. 5 was actually created in the 80s. So if you're wearing Chanel No. 5, even though it does smell a little bit dated and a little bit vintage, it still isn't what they were wearing 100 years ago. It's still definitely a more modern take. This is a woody floral aldehydic powdery fragrance. This one, you guys, it's very strong. It has a lot of those really strong aldehydic notes in there, which I personally have grown to love. They're definitely an acquired taste. And I think when I was a lot younger, I would not have appreciated this whatsoever. I probably would have thought it was terrible and never wanted to come near it again. But I don't know if it comes with age or if it just comes with my palette being more diversified as I've been getting into perfumery a little bit more. But you guys, I have such an appreciation for this fragrance. I love it so much. I actually wear this one to bed. This one makes me feel very glamorous. It makes me feel very sophisticated, and it kind of relaxes me, and it also kind of takes me back to, not that I was there obviously, but it kind of takes me back to like a different time. It takes me to the 1920s, 1930s. I can envision myself, you know, crawling into bed in a completely different era, and there's something kind of magical about it, and I just love it. It's just such a classic, timeless fragrance, and I love it, you guys. I would not want to not have this in my collection. So I'll go over the notes really quickly. So on the top, you have your aldehydes, ylang ylang, peach, bergamot, and neroli. In the middle, you have iris, which gives it that powderiness. You've got lily of the valley, rose, and jasmine. And then in the base, you've got a lot of patchouli. You've got vetiver, oak moss, vanilla, and sandalwood. So yes, this is a very powdery, aldehydic, very strong, heady kind of a perfume. Definitely packs a punch and will kind of blow you out of the water when you first spray it. But you guys, I love it. I love it. If you don't want to wear it, I still think it's classic to have in your collection. It looks beautiful on a vanity. I actually like the color of the juice, even though it's a little bit darker, more yellow, and a little bit more old school looking. I definitely just think it looks so beautiful. And I love having it. It's one of my favorite fragrances. Marilyn Monroe stated that the only thing she wore to bed was Chanel. So that's kind of like an iconic quote from her. And so I think maybe that adds to the glamour. And I think maybe that's why when I do wear this to bed at night, it makes me feel very glamorous. Maybe I'm envisioning myself as Marilyn Monroe or something. I'm not sure. I think it's just such a glamorous, classy, timeless fragrance. So that is Chanel No. 5 Eau de Parfum. Something that I think is so special about Chanel, it is so recognizable and it has a vibe. It has like a very specific, sophisticated kind of a vibe, and I think it truly does elevate the woman who's wearing it. I think it says so much about the person who's wearing it, and anybody who knows fragrance will be able to pick up on you if you are wearing Chanel. There's a lot of other designer fragrances that are very kind of generic smelling and run-of-the-mill and not that recognizable. There's a couple that are pretty recognizable, but I think that the Chanel perfumes overall all have this very recognizable sophistication and class to them, and that's what I love about them the most. I think if you choose any of these fragrances, you will feel like a classy boss woman, you will feel sophisticated, and you will just immediately feel elevated. So you guys, that is my entire Chanel perfume collection. So obviously I don't have anything in here from the exclusive line. That's something I would really like to smell. That's a dream of mine one day, is to go to a Chanel boutique and smell all of their exclusive fragrances. And if you guys have any that you think I would like and that you think I should try based on what you see here, I would be really appreciative if you would write them down below for me, because I would like to get my hands on them. One of the ones I keep hearing a lot of good things about is Chanel No. 19, and I think it would be very good based on what I've seen in the note profile, because I know people are going to ask me, if you could only pick 2 or 3 to get your collection started, I would say go with the Chanel Chance Eau de Parfum. I would say the Allure, because this one is very sexy and you could use this on a date, also very classy. And then I would say pick a fresher one as well, like the Coco Mad or the Low. And just to be different, I'm going to say go with the Low. So yeah, if you're just starting out your collection and you don't know where to begin, I would say go with those ones. Maybe the Coco Mademoiselle as well, or the Eau de Toilette. I would say leave the Noir and the No. 5s for later in your journey, when you've kind of developed a deeper appreciation for some of those aldehydic notes. So yeah, that's all I have to say for today, guys. So that's it for today's video, you guys. It was really long. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, congratulations. Please go ahead and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, and I will see you guys all in the future.